You really think humanity has uncovered every mystery it was supposed to understand? What if I told you there's one single book, yes, just one that terrifies scholars more than any ancient prophecy ever written? This is the Voynich Manuscript, and after what researchers finally decoded, I'm not sure if you'll want to know the rest. But if you're brave enough, drop a like right now. Trust me, it's only getting stranger. The Voynich Manuscript is, without exaggeration, the most bizarre book humans have ever touched. Hundreds of pages in an unknown script, illustrations of plants that don't exist, star charts that don't match any known sky, and strange images of women submerged in green liquid connected by tubes like some kind of proto-biotech. For over a century, scholars have been trying and failing to understand it. But recently, something changed. For the first time in history, parts of the manuscript were actually translated. And what they found isn't just unsettling, it's world-shifting. And if you want more mysteries like this, subscribe. Now let's dive in. The Strange Beginning. In the early 1900s, Polish book dealer Wilfred Voynich purchased a strange and nameless manuscript from Jesuit priests. He had no idea what he was holding. No title, no recognizable language, no clear origin, just page after page of encrypted text paired with illustrations that looked like someone had dreamt of plants from another dimension. Even though Voynich could read multiple ancient languages, he eventually admitted, "This is beyond human logic." And honestly, he wasn't wrong. The impossible language. For more than 100 years, the manuscript became a battlefield for the smartest minds on the planet. World War I codebreakers, NSA cryptologists, linguists from Yale, historians, mathematicians, AI models, even amateur detectives, all trying to figure out one thing. What language is this? Because structurally, it acts like a real language. It has grammar, patterns, repetition, rules, but it matches nothing known to humanity. Until recently, the breakthrough. A team of linguists came up with a wild hypothesis. What if the manuscript was written in a proto-language, something that existed before early Italian and early French? It sounded insane, but unbelievably, it worked. A portion of the text became readable, not fully but enough to extract meaning, and researchers noticed something strange. Some of the words echoed terms found in the Book of Judgment, a medieval text full of omens and warnings. But the real shock wasn't the words, it was their meaning, what the text actually describes. The manuscript is divided into bizarre categories: botanical section, plants that don't exist anywhere on Earth; astronomy section, stars and constellations no one can recognize; biological section, women in strange chambers connected by pipes; prophecies, the part everyone wishes they hadn't decoded. According to the latest translations, the Voynich Manuscript describes major global events both past and future. And what's terrifying is how many of those events have already happened. Coincidence? Maybe. But there are too many to ignore. The predictions that came true. The predictions aren't vague. They're disturbingly specific. For example, the manuscript describes metal birds exploding with fire in the sky long before airplanes existed, a black cloud covering the sun across many lands, eerily similar to modern industrial disasters, the year when the elements bow to man, describing technological dominance, forests of iron rising from the ground, factories, cities, power grids, roads of lightning carrying men further than horses ever could, electricity, rail systems, power lines. If it were one or two predictions, fine, but dozens across centuries? At some point, coincidence stops making sense. The pages no one wants to discuss. Among the newly translated lines, there are passages that scholars publicly refuse to comment on, not because they're unclear, but because they're too clear. Here are a few fragments. The tear that separates mankind from the light, the year when the stars come closer than breath, when darkness takes back what was stolen. But the one that terrified researchers the most is this: what soon shall be is hidden even from those who know. Meaning, even the scholars who decoded the text don't want to explain what's coming. Ask yourself why. The most disturbing illustrations. Then there are the images. Women standing in green, liquid-filled basins. tubes connecting them like circuitry, symbols resembling early diagrams of energy, flow, or regeneration. Remember, this manuscript is likely from the 15th century. So how does a medieval author depict something that looks like biotechnology, regeneration chambers, energy extraction, or even medical procedures nobody could have imagined back then? Unless the author wasn't documenting their own time, but something far beyond it. The last few unknown lines. Only a handful of lines remain untranslated, not because we lack technology, but because they appear to use a separate code, possibly a separate language. Some experts believe these final lines contain a date, a location, and the cause of the next large-scale event. And no one knows how to decode them. Or maybe someone does, and simply won't say. Message to you. You don't have to believe everything. You're allowed to doubt. But when a medieval manuscript predicts technological advancement, global disasters, and astronomical changes with this level of accuracy, maybe it's not just a book. Maybe it's a warning. So if you want a full breakdown of the translated lines, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. Because trust me, what I haven't shown you yet is even stranger.